Hi, now that I have you here, I want to introduce you to the core values of our community: awareness, responsibility, and empathy. But for this video, we will focus on awareness, specifically self-awareness. In everyday life, we probably already think and talk about the self a lot in a casual way. We introduce ourselves to others by telling them about what we think to be the central characteristic of ourselves. We wonder what others think of us or how they perceive us, and we think about how we want to be perceived. Although these thoughts are guided by the images that we and others have built around ourselves, they do not make us self-aware. On the contrary, being self-aware means that you're able to see through the fantasies that yourself and others have created about yourself. Instead, we want to make a commitment to the reality of our inner self. We want to know what is, and that regardless of how we would prefer things to be. Now, in order to become more self-aware, we can practice self-observation. We basically put ourselves in the position of a scientist, observing data as objectively as possible. The data, in this case, are our thoughts, our emotions. Now, learning from philosophers like Kierkegaard or even the old Greek, we can analyze our thoughts and emotions as part of us, but not fully us. We don't identify with our thoughts and emotions, we just observe them so that we can consciously respond to them. Let's borrow from mystic traditions to visualize this. Picture a mountain and the weather around it. Mountains often have a weather system of their own. The weather changes from bright to dark, stormy to calm, or loud to still. While the weather can capture our attention with these sometimes dramatic changes, we have to differentiate the weather from the mountain because they're not the same. Like the weather covers up the mountain, our emotions can so fully absorb us that we become convinced that our emotions are our full self. So we think of ourselves as the weather, when we are in fact the mountain. We are the awareness around which the weather of emotion, thoughts, and sensation happen. So, to become self-aware, we need to step back to notice and observe without judgment the reality of what we sense, feel, and think. Examining our lives this way will give us more choices on how to react, which will then enable us to take responsibility.